Hey y'all, A7RII here, and I wanted to provide a review after the first day in the field with the new Sony A7RII, also commonly referred to as the Sony A7R Mark II. Now my initial impressions are extremely favorable. Now this camera, if you've subscribed to my channel, you've probably seen the previous cameras that I've used, and if you haven't, be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/A7RII and check them out. And you can see my progression throughout a plethora of 4K cameras, because everything I film on my channel now is in 4K Ultra HD. So I started out with the Panasonic Lumix LX100. I love the size of it. Obviously, it was not an interchangeable lens camera, but the autofocus on within the 4K videos was too in and out for me. It didn't do what I needed it to do. And then I upgraded to the Panasonic Lumix GH4, which was a very good camera. I got some really good stills out of it, and also awesome 4K video. My favorite 4K video that I filmed with the GH4 to date is my St. Kitts Green Monkeys video, so feel free to check it out. Obviously the GH4 I had to use manual mode for video, and that took a lot of practice for me to nail it, and I either nailed it or I failed it, and a lot of my videos were complete failures. So with that being the case, I needed something that I could get consistently good results with without having to fumble with the manual focus. Now my journey led me to discover Sony cameras. Now actually the camera that I'm filming this video with in front of the green screen is a Sony camera. It's a camcorder, and it's 4K, and I've had great experience with it. Prior to the A7R II that I have right here, I had the Sony RX10 Mark II, Sony RX10 II. Great camera. Not an interchangeable lens camera, but it did have wicked good zoom, and it had a Zeiss lens fixed to it. But again, I couldn't change the lenses, and like anything else, if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm always asking, what's next? What's next? I'm wanting to improve the video quality, well, the overall production quality of A7RII's Adventure channel. So I'm looking for tools that can better enable me to do that. And in this camera, I've got the ability to change lenses. The lens I have on here now is the Carl Zeiss 35mm f2.8. So it's a prime lens. You can't zoom in, you can't zoom out. But the still photos and the videos that I've captured with this already are absolutely razor sharp. Check out my Facebook fan page for some stills. It's facebook.com/A7RII. Absolutely blown me away with the quality. Now this camera can go, it's like 42, is it 42.2? I think it's 42.2 megapixels. Check the link within this video's description for the detailed specs. But I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And a lot of people say, well, why would I need that many megapixels? And people don't need it. People want it. If you just look at an image, it's easy to say, oh, that looks good, and not realize that, oh, it was taken with this camera or a more entry-level camera. And for a lot of people, an image is an image, and it doesn't matter. But when you do a lot of work with photos and videos, you realize the importance of having that larger canvas. So for example, when I'm out shooting still photos, I can snap a photo, and even if what I want has a bunch of junk on the sides and above and below, because it's such a high quality image, I can then go in and post-production, zoom in on exactly what I want to feature, and cut out the other stuff without degrading the quality. Well, obviously it'll degrade the quality, but who in the world is going to, their finished photo is going to be a 42.2 megapixel or whatever? I mean, that's ridiculous. It's probably going to be the size is probably going to be greatly reduced before it's worked into a project, shared, whatever. Now, there may be certain applications where someone would need a photo that large. You know, maybe they're printing some sort of, let's just say, billboard artwork or something like that. I don't know. But, I mean, this thing has blown my mind. The RX10 Mark II Very good camera, very good 4K video quality. But using and loving the RX10 Mark II and then using this, immediately you notice a better build quality, which is expected. I mean, this is a Sony Alpha camera. One of the other things that I've noticed that's really nice is that for this knob right here to change the camera settings, you've got to push the center button before it'll let you change. How many times have you grabbed your DSLR, your mirrorless camera out of your backpack and inadvertently started shooting photos and or filming, not realizing that your mode button had changed when it was in transport? So, you know, that's a really good, that's a good feature in my opinion. Now, like the RX10 Mark II, the screen on the back, razor sharp to look at, same with the viewfinder. But it'll go up, as you can see there, it'll go out and it'll go down. But what it won't do, it won't pop out to the side. So for face-on video segments, you're going to want to use a field monitor, or maybe just like I do, the poor man's approach, and get you get the app for your iPhone and use your iPhone as a viewfinder of sorts if you're doing face-on video, making sure you're in the frame, making sure everything looks good before you start filming. So, you know, really nice there. And then also I've got the same Sony, do they call it the multi-shoe interface? I think that's the terminology they use. But I can use the same Sony microphones and accessories on this that I do on my camcorder and that I previously used on my RX10 Mark II. So I mean, it's great to be able to reuse those things, and that's why I've decided that the Sony brand for my cameras is where I want to stay. So hopefully they'll keep the E mount, so that when the next camera body comes out, whatever it may be, that's, you know, bigger and badder than the A7RII, that hopefully I'll be able to use the same Sony E mount lenses and only have to incur the cost of a new camera body. But check the link within this video's description, because you can find the A7RII, the various lenses and the various accessories that I use. And I'll also post some, again, check out my Facebook fan page for a bunch of photos that I've snapped with this, but also the link within this video's description, because I'll share some of that there as well. But small complaints, battery life, if you've talked to a lot of people about this, the battery life is decent. But the good news is that these batteries are tiny and they're very lightweight. So carrying extra Sony Nancy Paul Frank Whiskey 5.0 batteries, it's simple. You know, it's not a burden, at least for me. And that's with a bunch of other gear. I'm carrying drones, carrying other cameras. Not a problem. One of the other complaints that you may have heard are people saying it overheats. Now, that may be a valid claim in certain scenarios, but there's a few things that people may not have considered. The SD card that's used for the A7RII needs to be a really fast read and write. Check the link within this video's description for the card that I use. And then secondly, a lot of people may not have updated their firmware. There was a firmware release at the time of posting this video. The most recent one was December of 2015, and it was supposed to help with reported overheating issues. And thirdly, this being a mirrorless camera and DSLR cameras, most all of them have, to my knowledge, have a 29-minute hard stop on 4K continuous video recording. So there's a lot of people that may have been trying to use this like a camcorder and not realize that there is that hard stop, and when they hit the 29-minute mark or whatever, they misinterpreted it as an overheating issue. But with that said, I've never experienced a better image quality for stills and better video quality for 4K video with anything else on the market today. And it's January 2016, so I just wanted to share my initial feedback. Obviously, my opinions may change. Check out my videos. Tell me what you think. I'm going to be posting a ton of videos and a ton of photos with the Sony A7R Mark II. So thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe. YouTube.com/iRixGuy. And one other thing I failed to mention, this has the, I think they call it the T coating, and it's supposed to reduce glare. And then the body itself seems to be very, feels like it could take a beating. And I don't want to bang it up, but you know, if I did, it feels sturdy enough to where I can confidently go out in a challenging environment, have this camera with me, and have some degree of confidence that it'll likely be able to survive the environment and bring back awesome photos and videos. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.